Before we jump into the anatomy of it all, let's talk about what the lacrimal apparatus actually is. The lacrimal apparatus is a group of structures responsible for generating tears and collecting and draining the tear fluid. The tear fluid is made up of water and contains many electrolytes, proteins, and more. It functions as a lubricant for the eye and protects it from infection. Now let's get into the anatomy. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be looking at today. And we're going to start with the relevant bones around the lacrimal apparatus to really orientate ourselves with where the components will lay. Then we'll get to the lacrimal apparatus itself, starting from where the tear fluid is produced and ending with its drainage point. Let's get to it. First up are the bones that are involved with our lacrimal apparatus. This is the image that we're going to be looking at most often in this tutorial, where we can see the superolateral section of the right eye and the right nose cut in section. We're looking at the lacrimal apparatus on this person's right side. Many superficial structures have been removed, so we can see the deeper components of the lacrimal apparatus. I'll point these out as we go along. Looking in the superolateral aspect, we can now see a bone highlighted in green. This is part of the frontal bone. The frontal bone has been resected slightly to see the underlying structures. Let's peel off the skin and muscles for a moment and have a look at the bones underneath. The image now on the right shows more of the frontal bone, which is orange in color. The section highlighted in green is the zygomatic process of the frontal bone and corresponds to the resected section on the image on the left. It's tucked behind here that we'll find the lacrimal gland, which we'll identify shortly. Moving to the nasal cavity, we can see right into it. The skin and cartilage have been removed, as has the nasal bone. What we can see highlighted in green now, and in our pop-out, is the middle nasal concha. This is a projection of the ethmoid bone into the nasal cavity. This image on the right is of an isolated ethmoid bone. Quite the funky bone, hey? The middle nasal conchae are highlighted in green, one on either side. The bony projection in the middle is the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone, which makes up part of the nasal septum. Therefore, it is in the midline of the skull. The middle nasal conchae are on either side of the nasal cavity, projecting inwards from the lateral walls.